Okay, so I think this is week 5 of the BMST meeting, if I remember correctly. I'm just kind of going by my weeks here. And welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. So Lynn, we've already kind of went over some things that you kind of had last week, and the squash soup sounded delicious.
Yeah, so I'm still have a few meals left of that, and probably another couple of the chili. And then I had a big bag of spinach. So I've been eating that. And one of the recipes was for whole wheat pita
Mm-hmm.
or a wrap or something. Or it might have been tortillas. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think it
Anyway,
was tortilla, but
maybe tortillas because I ended up making my own tortillas. I had the whole wheat bread machine flour.
Oh,
So I
cool.
tried my hand. I found a really simple recipe, just water and baking powder and salt. And I think that was it. Very, very simple. And you were supposed to knead it for 15 minutes, but I just put it in my bread machine and let
Of
it
course.
knead
That's
and
what
then
I
let it
do. When I had a bread machine years ago,
rest.
I
And
did
then,
the same thing.
yeah, just rolled it out and then
Mm.
just you put your burner on high heat and let the pot get really hot, and then it kind of puffs up, and then turn it over on the other side. So I've had one meal I think was with tuna. So I've had some tuna. Was at a potluck on the weekend for Valentine's Day. So we were bringing leftovers home. So I had half a dozen nice big shrimp. So I took 3 of them and cut those up and put that in one of the tortillas with some leftover salad that I mixed just a little bit of mayonnaise with. So that was good. That was really good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I really
awesome.
like the whole wheat tortillas. Yeah, the homemade ones were really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
But the store ones I find put sugar in them, and I don't like sweet when I eat a meal.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless it's like sweet potatoes or
Definitely.
Yeah.
Have you lost any more weight since I last spoke with you?
I'm pretty much holding at 123. It did go down to 122.5.
Okay.
So we're pretty much holding at 123. Yeah.
Okay, well that's not
Yeah.
bad.
And my downfall is I don't like exercise. So today, actually, after lunch, I went up I was going to get one of those exercise weighted hula hoops.
I never heard of that.
I used to love hula hooping, and you can get the weighted ones, but they're like $80 or $120 expensive. So I went up to Walmart. They didn't have them. Went to Canadian Tire, and they didn't have them. So all I have here is like a kid's one that I won. I tried filling it with sand, but I don't think the hoop's big enough. I think and it just won't stay up. You have to be, I think, a little kid to use that one. So that didn't really work.
Yeah, definitely.
So they are saying they won't get those types of hula hoops in until the summer, but I mean, they're exercise, so I don't know why they don't have them all year round.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've never really heard of weighted hula hoops before, so that's really exciting. I saw the other day that you can get weighted vests at Walmart, so I think I might actually pick one of those up and start using that as part of my workout, because you can use weighted vests for to add extra resistance when you're doing a squat or with your lunge. So I think that'll kind of help step up my workouts just a little bit. So I do my workouts at home as well, and so I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Terry? How's your week been going?
Just when you said about a weighted vest to do a squat, I thought, yeah, I put a vest on with weights on, it'll go down and I'll never get back up.
Yeah.
Something to challenge myself with.
I'm a little too old for that challenge, I think.
Definitely.
This has been terrible. I haven't been home enough. I've been on the road constantly. I was away from Tuesday to Wednesday. I was away from Friday to Saturday. then I'm away again on Sunday for the day. It's been, I don't,
just a busy week for you. Do you,
well,
these like work functions or like retirement functions?
no, I have kids.
Okay, yeah. That'll definitely put some, a lot of travel time.
My youngest just moved out the beginning of February. So we're still trying to get her stuff out of my mom's
Oh,
house.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's been trying to get the stuff out, trying to get the place cleaned back up and back to normal. So I've been trying to do that. Plus my oldest daughter is in the South Shore, so I've been going back and forth there because she's taking our sofa that we have here for over there, and it's just been one thing or the other. My brother,
Absolutely.
so I'm
There's
just
yeah, and it's very stressful when you're trying to get her settled in, and you're probably not really thinking too hard on the meal plan then, eh?
well, I had made myself squash soup and I had made myself chili, so
Good.
those are two things that I've been running back and forth eating. But
Okay.
there's been other things that I've been eating that I shouldn't be eating, but that's beside the point.
Of course, yeah. Well, like I know that you have the isogenics
Yeah.
powders, right? So have you been drinking those just to kind of?
I've been eating the bars. I've been having the bars from time to time. Yes,
Okay.
I've done that
Yeah,
like
like
for breakfast and that. Just
mm,
have my coffee and have it, so at least I get something in my stomach before I go do something. And I have
yeah.
had a couple of shakes as well.
And those are great when you're out and you're running errands and trying to move someone into a new place, and it's so hard to kind of think about, well, what am I going to have for breakfast, lunch, and
When they
definitely those
stuff I really wanted.
I always find that bringing some nuts and seeds along the trip could certainly be helpful.
I'm
At
allergic to
least,
nuts. That's where I have the problem.
oh, right. I'm sorry. Yes, we
That's okay.
mentioned, we talked about that a long time ago. But even bringing some hard-boiled eggs, or even just like cooked slices of chicken, just some protein can certainly be helpful, and it can even kind of keep some cravings away when you're not thinking about food. Because if you're hungry, you're going to want to crave sugar. That's just our bodies.
Well, what I have done is I've taken the isogenic chips that they have. So
Okay.
I've munched on those from time to time.
Good, yeah, and I take it those have like lots of protein in it, kind of like the
10
Quest chips I
grams
keep
of
hearing.
protein. Yeah. Yeah, they're 10 grams in each bag, which it's a small bag, but it does have 10 grams.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm really hungry, I usually have them in the car, so I'll munch on that to make sure I try to curb it a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that this week might be a little bit better, or is it still going to be hectic?
I'm not sure. I can't guarantee anything because I try to say it's going to be quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
Something goes somewhere and I have to deal with it.
Okay, yeah. It's easier to kind of plan your days when you know what's going to come up, but when it becomes unpredictable, you kind of have to just have a lot of portable snacks and portable food on hand. So when you do have days that are just going to be busy, it's just easy just to kind of grab like an isogenic shake, for example. And
I'm actually saying that I'm thinking about going back to work because I'd probably work less. That's the way I look at it.
So what's this isogenic? What's that product?
It's a product that I was on for 2 years. They have shakes, they have bars, they have a meal plan if you want to follow it as well.
Oh, okay.
But they're very, very expensive.
So, and do they have sugar in them?
Oh yeah, there's sugar in them.
Oh yeah, that would.
They're kind of like meal replacements, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, like you have a shake for lunch or a shake for breakfast.
Oh yes.
Or a bar for lunch or a bar for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And some people find them useful because it helps with portion control, and just kind of the convenience factor where they don't have to think about, well, what am I going to make for lunch or breakfast or dinner? So
right.
Yeah. I used to be an Ideal protein consultant. Same idea. Clients were on like 3 shakes or 3 Ideal protein foods per day and 2 cups of vegetables. and like an 8-ounce thing of protein. So that was like their entire meal. So that gave them about 1,000 calories, and it worked. But there was no, there wasn't a lot of maintenance afterwards. So a lot of clients would just kind of yo-yo once they come off the plan, because they just kind of resort to old eating habits. So, you know, I'd always tell people you have to make lifestyle changes, but because they get so reliant to the food, it's really hard to kind of start planning your own meals afterwards.
Yeah.
So a few of my old clients were actually able to keep the weight off, because they were dedicated to not regain all their weight back. But it becomes very hard when people just have a lot of like busy schedules, and they just don't know how to properly plan things out. So yeah, and dill protein was expensive. I think people were paying like $500 a month for the food.
Wow.
Yeah. And they also had to take supplements as well, because the food itself, it was lacking in nutrition. So they, of course, I had to sell these supplements. So, you know, like it wasn't, it was a good start to when I was first doing my, learning how to do consulting before I started my own business. It was a good starter for me, but like but it wasn't something I knew I wasn't going to do long term. So.
Well, I was getting into the unfortunate habit of just having maybe a bag of cheesies for supper, you know, like just being lazy because it's just me and not, I don't really want to cook tonight. I don't really want to make a meal. And then I got into the habit of doing it more and more. And that's what my downfall was. I was just doing it too much.
Yeah.
So now I'm back, you know, I'm going ahead, I'm making meals myself, and I'm just bypassing the bakery when I go to the supermarket. I just kind of avoid that area.
Definitely.
So I'm not buying the sugary stuff now. It's at a potluck on Saturday night, and I had 2 squares and a small dish of ice cream, and I put chocolate sauce on the ice cream, and the chocolate sauce was horrible. It didn't even taste like chocolate. And it was vanilla ice cream, and I'm not big on vanilla anyway, so I just had a small bit, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that anymore, because you know, I just don't need it.
I always tell clients that it's not going to hurt you if you treat yourself. Like having a bowl of ice cream is not a bad thing. You just don't want to like have a bowl of ice cream every day.
Exactly.
So one day a week is fine. It's not going to derail you.
I don't feel guilty when I'm going to a potluck or when I'm going out for supper. You know, like I you know, like a couple of people have said to me, oh, you know, well, you're going off your meal plan and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you know what? If you stick to something for a long period of time, especially when you're first starting, then you might feel deprived, and then you tend not to go ahead with it, and you get discouraged. So I think it's better to just do that once in a while and not feel like you're depriving yourself, or that you
absolutely have to. It's good not to feel guilty afterwards, and it's good to have a positive mindset, like knowing that there's going to be some sweets at the potluck or dinner party, and not feeling bad if you did have something like ice cream for it. So and just
one friend told me too, she said, when you have sweets, she said, then the weight comes back on. And I said, well, it's not going to come back on if you do it just once. I said, like, I didn't gain any weight the next morning. And she's saying, well, it takes 2 weeks to gain the weight. Have you ever heard of that?
No, she's completely wrong.
How would it take 2 weeks to gain weight from something?
So you can, here's how weight loss works. In order to lose like 1 pound of fat, you need to lose 3,500 calories. So let's say that you are eating right now 1,500 calories. And in order to lose 1 pound of weight, you need to drop it by 500 calories every day. So you literally have to be on like a 1,000 calorie diet every single day in order to lose 1 pound. If you are gaining weight, you need to you have to eat more calories than what your body is burning off. So gaining weight, that increases, you need an extra 3,500 calories. So if you were eating went from 1,500 calories to 2,000 calories every single day, you're going to, that increase in 500 extra calories every day is going to get you that 1 pound. So if you were eating ice cream and notice that you went up 1 pound, or if you were eating ice cream like Saturday night and notice that you went up 1 pound overnight, that's going to, a lot of it is water retention. So that does not mean that you gain fat. It's physically impossible to gain 1 pound just on a bowl of ice cream, unless it was the entire tub. You're taking in like
this was not this weekend. This was last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the buffet. That was the buffet I went to. But she's saying you don't notice the weight gain for 2 weeks.
There's no sense to that.
That would be impossible. Like that would not. That doesn't make sense.
There is no theory behind that.
I don't know where she ever got that from.
Sometimes you just have to.
Your food comes out of your body.
Yeah.
Within less than a day, right?
The only way you can gain in 2 weeks is if you were increasing your calories every day.
Every day. So, and I only ate once.
Yeah, and
the next day, I didn't gain any weight. Yeah. So she's trying to say, oh, you don't put that weight on for 2 weeks.
There's a lot of misinformation on the internet.
I don't know where she got that from.
And she probably just heard it from somewhere off the internet. There's just so much, a lot of false information, and it's very easy to just kind of Google something and then find a source that makes it seem like it's a good source. So there's nothing
that didn't even make sense.
No, absolutely. It doesn't make sense at all. And like I said, the only way to gain weight in 2 weeks is if you are increasing your calories every single day. And if you did happen to, because you didn't gain any weight overnight, then you're fine. And some people actually do gain like 5 pounds overnight. I had a client that ate a lot of sushi, gained 5 pounds overnight. And it was because that there's a lot of salt in the sushi, which was holding on to more fluids. So, like he went back to his normal eating pattern because he's doing intermittent fasting. And, he lost all that weight within a couple of days of just going back to like eating proteins and salads one meal a day because he's on the 1 meal a day plan.
Oh, right. Well, I haven't been having breakfast because I tend to stay up late and then I don't get up until late. So by that time I just have lunch and then I'll have supper. So I haven't had breakfast for several days now.
And that's completely fine. Like there's really nothing harmful if you don't eat breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person myself. And I fast from between 6 and 7 at night until 11 or 12 the next day.
Same. Yeah.
And I find it works best with my schedule because when I wake up, I have to get my kid ready to take to the grandparents. I have to get ready to get my day started with working. I'm self-employed, so I have to kind of get my schedule all worked out. So, I just find that I don't think about breakfast, and I'm also not that hungry as well. So
no, me neither.
Yeah, just do what works for you. There's a lot of like articles that suggest breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but if you are but your body actually adjusts to not having breakfast every single day, and as long as you're having healthy food for the rest of the day and you're making sure that you're not becoming low in calories, because we need anywhere between 1,200 to 2,000 calories depending on what you do for fitness level and like your age and like your sex, and like there's many other factors that determine how many calories you need. So as long as you're not going below 1,200, then you're pretty much fine. So if you exercise, you might need a little bit more calories, but you can eat dinner or lunch and dinner with some snacks in the middle, and you can be fine.
Yeah, I don't tend to eat anything until the evenings. And I have been eating just maybe a few almonds.
Yeah.
just something that's, because if I'm watching TV particularly,
Yeah.
then I need to kind of get used to snacking on things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
TV's
but
evil for
yeah, I know.
snacking. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I've got the raw almonds, so I'll have some of those. And then there was a recipe, I think it was this week, that had chocolate, some sort of chocolate cocoa balls.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was very similar to something I make. I make the chocolate avocado mousse.
Okay, yeah.
And that's really good. And
Yeah.
but normally the recipe calls for maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I'd try making it with stevia and see if I could get the right sweetness to it.
Yeah, so basically, like stevia is you probably know that it's going to have a different kind of sweetness to it. So you only need just a tiny little bit. Like
exactly.
It's very hard to stevia is very bitter. So you can't add too much compared to maple syrup, where it's a lot sweeter, or it's you generally need more maple syrup than stevia. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
And when sometimes I'll make whole wheat banana bread, and I always use stevia when I make it. And it's like if it calls for, I'm just saying if it calls for a cup of sugar, I'll use like a teaspoon of stevia.
Yeah,
so,
or you like if you find that that's just too sweet, you don't even have to add the stevia or the sugar into it. So sugar is just to add like sweetness. You can applesauce actually works really well too, so you can always add that into it. But it's if you find that it's just becoming, you just don't really care about the sugar, you don't even have to add the stevia or the cup of sugar.
Yeah, I do need you need sweetener in banana bread.
I always find that bananas has that right amount of sweetness to it. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, I need to have a little bit more sweetness in that.
All right. Well, what are you, Lynn and Terry, what are you planning on? Any goals that you have set that you'd like to work on this week in terms of weight loss and for healthy eating?
Try to get the proper food in me.
Yeah, that's always a good goal. Terry, have you lost any weight since you first started at all?
I'm not sure, maybe a pound or so. When I first did the 5-day, 5 pound, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think I lost about 3 pounds then.
Okay.
And then I kind of tapered off, and not much has come off since then. But then I can't say it's the diet. I'd say it's more me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as hopefully as each week progresses, like if you just kind of find a routine that you can just kind of settle into.
Yeah, like my goal, if I lose weight, great. But it's if I can just get on a better eating habit, better foods and stuff, then I know it will come off on its own.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I don't want to be strict with myself. Because I just never know when I'm going to be eating out or what I'm going to be doing. Like the week before last, I was away for 4 days.
Yeah. And a lot of this progress is all about taking small steps. Like if you do a complete 360 and you completely eliminate all processed foods and all sugars and like try to like take your meals on the go, it might be like a drastic change for someone. It's sometimes people just need to set one goal every week, and that'll kind of help them get more adjusted. Like because if your schedule is so busy, try to set like at least 1 or 2 goals that you'd like to try to achieve this week. Like if you know that you might be traveling, try to kind of keep some portable snacks on handy, so then you're not going to reach for some like a bag of chips if you're feeling hungry or something like that.
Yeah. Well, like I've been making meals ahead.
That's good.
I've had some stuff made ahead so that I have it. I've got there's chili still in the freezer. I've got, I didn't make the sweet potato soup recipe that we had in the book. I just made sweet potato soup.
Okay.
So it just doesn't have the milk and stuff like that in it. And I've got that in the freezer as well. I had sweet potatoes I had to use, so that's what I did with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like me with the squash, I didn't add any dairy at all. I just pureed it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I added the dairy to the squash.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
Squash soup? Yeah, no, I never add dairy to any soups. I just, if I'm going to have a cream soup, I just puree it.
Yeah, normally I
Yeah.
do, but for some reason, I thought I'll try the recipe.
And the recipe called for dairy?
Called for a cup of milk,
Yeah.
Oh,
whole milk.
okay. I don't even buy milk. I haven't bought milk for.
Oh, see, I don't normally
can-
either. I buy it, and then what I have to do is I usually have to take it and turn around and make biscuits with it.
Oh, yeah.
Gee,
I think it's been probably 35 years or more, 40 years since probably 40 years since I bought milk. I buy like the almond milk
Yeah.
or
And
almond
that's really
coconut
good.
milk. Yeah, rice milk, oat milk.
Coconut milk would actually work really well with a squash soup.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's that would, yeah. And I've made, like seafood chowder using the unsweetened. I only buy the unsweetened nut milks.
Mm.
Mm.
I do too. Yeah, I like to
And same with
incorporate
if
those
I'm
into my
buying
smoothies.
yogurt, I'll buy the unsweetened yogurt and just put a little bit of stevia again and just to sweeten that, just a little bit. And I have a little bit of stevia every morning in my green tea. I have a couple of cups of green tea every morning.
Well, that's good. So do you want to, do you have any goals set for yourself this week, Lynn?
I tend not to set goals. I don't, I just haven't gotten into the habit of doing that. Yeah.
Okay, well, like goal setting can certainly help you become accountable, and it can also give people a sense of accomplishment as well. So maybe trying to set like one goal a week, you might actually feel more accomplished by the end of the week. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it can certainly kind of keep you motivated in your fitness and health journey as well.
Yeah, well, probably getting more exercise would be one. Drinking more too. I tend not to drink enough water.
Okay, do you have like a water tracking app that you can download on your phone that might give you reminders?
Well, that'd be too much like work for me.
I would. Yeah, anything that gets too complicated.
Well, other things is just to kind of carry around a water bottle. I know the only way that I can.
Thinking about it more, so I'll maybe have some. I'll have my 2 cups of green tea in the morning, and then I have like a cup with the apple cider vinegar and other stuff in it. So that's 3 cups, and then I usually, or I have been lately, having 2 cups of herbal tea in the afternoon, and then I have usually another cup later in the evening. So I'm getting, I'm trying to get 5-6 cups in. 8 cups is way too much. Yeah.
Okay, well that's better than nothing. Like the rule of thumb is to aim for at least 8 cups a day, sometimes more, but you can always maybe build your way up to that if you find that it's just too much.
Well, I'm very small frame, so I wouldn't drink as much as like a 6'2" man would.
No, yeah, and they would definitely require a lot more.
I think from my size and my weight, I think around 6 cups would be.
Yeah, like, and that's certainly better than not drinking anything. So that's good. Yeah. So,
but I try not to drink just plain water because it's kind of boring.
I agree. I normally have to buy some flavor enhancers or just put some lemon and lime into it. And I
had an overripe lime a couple of days ago, and I juiced that and put that in with just a teeny bit of stevia, again, just to cut the acidy taste. And was it ever good?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah,
I might actually try that out then. Yeah. I've actually just started getting into tea. I've been kind of drinking tea off and on, and I normally tend to drink more tea in the winter just because it's so cold and I'm looking for something like hot. And I've been getting into a lot of the herbal teas, and I've always never really been much on the green tea drinker, but I've actually been like increasing my green tea intake as well as so I've been probably having about 4 or 5 cups of tea now a day. So
Oh, good.
it's been, so at least that way it's kind of just giving some extra flavor to the water, because you're right, water does kind of get boring after a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So does anyone have any questions about the meal plan? And
The big thing I've been missing is bread.
yeah.
And Doc Christine told us about this bread that we could get.
She did.
Dimple something or other.
Okay.
I had it written down. Dimple
She
Flyer or Dimple Fleer.
okay.
You can get it in pumpernickel. You can get it in
pumpernickel. Yeah, she said pumpernickel.
Okay.
At the superstore, she said.
light rye.
Oh yes, I've taken those breads, so those are pretty good.
Light rye.
You can also get like high protein bread as well, which is also they're low sugar and also low cal.
This doesn't have sugar in it, does it?
The pumpernickel one does have low. It's
the light rye doesn't, I don't think, have any sugar in it.
A lot of the breads do have sugar, but just not a whole lot. Carbohydrates does convert into sugars in the body, so it might say 0 grams of sugar, but if you look at the carb content, one slice might be 20 grams of sugar, which converts to sugar in the body. So that sugar is going to give us a rise in blood sugars, which can hold on to a lot of weight. So if you reduce your carbohydrates, it's going to assist a little bit better with weight loss. So the lower the carb content in the slices of bread, the better. And look for high protein and because I know I've seen lots of high protein brands at the superstore, and a lot of them tend to be low sugars as well. And the pumpernickel and the rye bread are actually good sources of bread too. And sourdough. My client swears by sourdough, and that actually one slice has about 15 grams of protein, and it's also low sugar too. So even kind of look for that type of bread too. I've never actually tried it before.
The light rye is 60 calories.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good then. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there was one recipe I think that called for the pita bread. Yeah, and so I just had some homemade bread in the freezer, so I just used a slice of the homemade bread because I don't like pita bread.
I love pita bread. I love it with hummus.
I find the texture kind of, I don't know, cardboardy.
Yes. See, I actually like that. I love rice cakes and pita breads, and
I like rice cakes.
Pita and tzatziki.
Yeah, that one's good. That's actually a really good snack. That or hummus.
Instead of chips and dip, pita and
yep. Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
I like pita chips. I have had, the pita bread, and I just cut it up in, little triangles and put it in my dehydrator, and I do like that. I just, brush a little bit of garlic, olive oil on top. That I do like, yeah.
Good.
But yeah, so I had mentioned last week about making my own bread with the whole wheat bread machine flour, and Christine was saying something about it had glyphosate, something like that, that they spray with. But I mean, how would you know what bread isn't, what wheat wouldn't be sprayed with that?
Yeah.
It's not something that they tell you, because they don't add it to bread or anything. It's something that's sprayed on the crop.
Yeah, like it is genetically modified ingredient that's I think kind of it's a preservative.
No, it's not added. I checked it out, and it's something that's sprayed on the crop itself to dry it out so that they can harvest it more quickly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, how would you know You know,
Yeah.
how would you know that that Dimpliclear or whatever it was, pumpernickel bread, how do you know that wasn't sprayed with that? I mean, there's no way
That
to know, right?
I
I don't know how you'd ever know that.
I
But
don't
she
think you're
mentioned
supposed to
about
know.
getting red fife flour, but
Hmm.
I don't know if that would be, again, how would you know that that was not sprayed?
Yeah, that I wouldn't know. I don't think
I would think that,
companies would want to tell consumers about that.
well, I mean, I would think it would be so minimal that, you know, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm not too sure about that one.
yeah, yeah. Well, but I like the whole wheat bread machine flour because you can use it in baking too.
Hmm. Well, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do everything with whole wheat. Um, so,
Hmm.
all right. Well, does anyone have any questions at all? Because I think we can kind of stop here then.
Don't think so.
No, nothing more for me.
All right. Well, I think I think we just kind of covered everything. Like, you both know kind of what you two need to be doing this week. And I will see you next week. And maybe Christine will be on next week. So, but I'll be on regularly now at 6 o'clock. So
Good.
Good to see you.
So thank you, and you too. So glad you two are both working on your meal planning, and sounds like your creativity is going good. So
Yeah. Just
all
Yeah.
right,
look at recipes.
definitely. So all
Have
right,
a
well,
good
I will see you too. You too. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.